Hi, I'm Dr. Shook, and I'd like to talk with you today why I don't recommend the paleo diet for patients with Hashimoto's thyroid. The paleo diet has really become I guess, a cultural trend and phenomenon over the last 5 to 10 years. It is basically a diet that looks to our ancestry and to how we ate before we were more civilized and before we had agriculturalism and before the Industrial Revolution, before we were farmers basically, when we were more of a hunter and gatherer. And it basically eliminates a lot of grains and a lot of things from the diet, and it can be a very, very good diet for a person, and it can help with autoimmune conditions. But I will just tell you, I don't recommend that diet. There are a lot of potential problems with the paleo diet. So, you know, I can't go into an exhaustive list of why I don't like it, but let's just take a few things for consideration. A lot of patients that have autoimmune conditions also have digestive disorders. A lot of autoimmunity and immune system issues are in the gastrointestinal tract. And if you don't know this, and this is the first time you've heard it, it's absolutely true. The majority of your immune system is actually in your GI tract. A lot of the foods that we eat cause gut inflammation, and not in every single person, but if you're autoimmune, 80 to 90% of my autoimmune patients have drivers or causes of their autoimmune problem that are dietary and food related. And even foods that you might think are good for you, like you're eating asparagus, for example, and you say, oh, asparagus can't be bad for me. It could. What we do in our clinic is we put people on an elimination program because we want to know what foods cause you inflammation. But I'll tell you that with the current science, the state of science today, what we are starting to do is have everyone order immune system tests for the different types of foods that they eat. We have like 200 foods that we can run testing on in a cooked and a raw form, a lot of which are on the paleo diet, to see if your immune system reacts to them. And what that means is if your immune system reacts to that, you've got to get that food out of your diet, or that's going to cause inflammation, and that will tend to perpetuate and push the autoimmune condition. You have to decrease inflammation, and to decrease inflammation, you have to get all of the antigens or the triggers of the immune system out of the diet and out of the body. And an antigen can be a food, which we're talking about here, but it can also be bacterial infections, dysbiosis and overgrowth of good and bad bacteria in the gut. It can be an H. pylori, which is a bacteria which can live in the stomach or in the GI tract. It can be a fungal infection like a yeast overgrowth. It can be a parasite. I mean, it can be a number of different things that we have to identify, and we have to kill that stuff or get it out of your diet, or you're going to have continual inflammation. So the paleo diet, though it's good, it has a lot of foods in it that can feed SIBO, or small intestinal bacterial overgrowth. A lot of patients that have thyroid problems or autoimmune conditions also have digestive issues, and those digestive issues can come from a number of different problems. It can come from having a sensitivity to the food that causes an immune response, which I'm talking about. It can be that you have an overgrowth of bacteria that live and feed off of FODMAPs. Now, I do an entire separate video on FODMAPs, but FODMAPs are a group of short chain and medium chain. Basically, it's different types of sugars and compounds that those bad bacteria in your gut, the small intestinal bacteria that overgrow, they feed off of it, and what they're going to do is they're going to produce gases that are either going to ferment, they're going to cause you to be gassy and have diarrhea, or they're going to cause constipation. You can't have that with an autoimmune condition. The paleo diet is full of FODMAPs. That's one problem. It also has nightshades in it. Nightshades, which are a group of plants that have compounds in them that can stimulate a leaky gut or a hyperpermeable intestinal tract. That is another video that I do. But my point with this being that the paleo diet is not the right diet for everyone. And it might help you, it might not. And I want to let my patients and people that are considering a paleo diet know, don't be defeated. If you try something like that and it helps you a little bit, but you're not better, or you go through periods of feeling better and worse, or you just feel worse altogether, there's a reason for it. Here's the diet, the best diet. Let me tell you, I can tell you exactly what the best diet is. It's the diet that's right for you. The diet that works for you. Every single person needs to eat an individualized diet. Now, we can get in the ballpark depending on what we know about your general health. But if you really, what we do, and I want to get people better. We want to get people better here. And so what we do, we can order through Cyrex Laboratories. We can order and I talked about it briefly, a 200 food antibody sensitivity panel. And basically what that panel will tell us is it will tell us what foods you're reacting to right now. And guess what we're going to do? We're going to get that panel. We're going to get all those foods out of your diet. We're going to focus on healing your digestive tract. We're going to focus on other priorities that you have metabolically, and we're going to see what happens. And then we're going to follow up with you, and then we're going to address what's left, and we're going to keep following up until we work through this problem. We may, in our clinic, we have to order advanced diagnostic labs so that we can figure out what's going on. If you don't do the right tests, you can't figure out how to help somebody. So you can just do diets, but listen, you're talking about a process that can take years to work through to figure out what's going on, and sometimes you'll feel better and then worse, and then you just don't know. You got to order the test to figure out what's going on, to come up with the right plan to help you restore your health. I'm Dr. Shook. I just want to talk about why the paleo diet, and really any diet, there's not one diet that works. It's what diet is best for you. I wanted to talk about diet a little bit because it comes up quite a bit. There's this growing trend about paleo with autoimmune conditions, and yes, it can help. It has helped a lot of people because a lot of people have problems with grains, and grains are highly associated with Hashimoto's. But there are so many patients with Hashimoto's that have cross-reactivity. Basically, there are a lot of foods that will react in your body like gluten does, which comes from wheat and it's in other grains. So you have to look at those cross-reactive foods too. You can't just, I mean, you can try it and see how you do, but these generalized diets are actually, a lot of people think that's going to be the thing that helps them. That's going to be the magic bullet. And that the fact is, if you try it and it doesn't work, or your symptoms wax and wane, then you're missing part of it. And don't be defeated. I've just seen that way too many times where people become defeated and they lose faith that they can ever get better. You know, there is a way that you can best work with your body to help it heal. I'm Dr. Shook. If you have any questions, let me know. I appreciate you taking time from your day to learn more about your health.